ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य आणीस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु भक्तारमवतु भक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ Om. May my speech be accorded with the mind. May my mind be accorded with the speech. O self-effulgent one Brahman, reveal thyself to me. May you both, speech and mind, be the carriers of the highest truth to me. May not all that I have heard depart from me. May I be able to join day and night through this study. I shall utter what is verbally true. I shall utter what is mentally true. May that Brahman protect me. May that Brahman protect the teacher. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. Good morning. This morning, I am going to speak three great philosophers and a religious leader of India. Not only religious and philosophical giant, they are the seer of God. They are Lord Buddha, Shankaracharya, and Ramanujacharya. Because this is the time when they have their birth anniversary celebration. Only few days ago, we had Buddha's birthday, the Purnima, the full moon of Buddha's birth. And last week probably we had Shankaracharya's and Ramanujacharya's also. We observed, not observed, but Ramanujacharya's birth anniversary celebration has already over. However, it is very difficult, to explain these three giants, spiritual giants, to describe these three spiritual giants, their life, their works, and their teachings. Generally, we divided it in, this is called hagiology. In technical term, the study of great men, this is called hagiology. So it is very difficult to explain from the point of view of hagiology. But let us try to explain these three spiritual giants ever. It is, I would say they are from India, but probably in whole world it is, their advent in this world is very rare. Once probably in one yuga, I would say. However, before going to their detail, Let me give some outline of it. These three spiritual leaders, they came one after another. First came Buddha. Buddha was born first. Then came Shankaracharya. And then Ramanujacharya. Their approach towards spirituality and religion are different. If you study the religions of the world, you can find a pattern. There is a definite pattern. In technical term, it is called dialectical pattern. What is dialectical pattern? The dialectical word is very common in Marx's philosophy. Perhaps you have heard the word dialectical materialism. This is a very common word in Karl Marx's thesis of economy or Das Kapital. But the dialectical process is this. If you consider some event as thesis, then obviously after some time there will be a counter thesis which is called antithesis. And then after some period of time you will find there is a synthesis. Both thesis and antithesis, they will merge, and ultimately a new thoughts, a new movement evolve, which is called synthesis. Then again, synthesis will become a thesis, then again antithesis, then again synthesis. This is the way how a religious movement of the world. If you go through Indian, I would explain you to Indian spiritual movement. If you go through the Western spiritual movement, the same thing from Judaism to Roman Catholic, then the different Protestant movement, Calvin, then or Martin Luther, and all other, if you see, it has a definite thesis, antithesis, synthesis. You can consider politics and religion. They came together, they divided, again came. If you see the capitalism and religion, money and religion, they came together, they divided, and then again they came. So you can find in Western religious movement this dialectical process. Buddha, Shankara and Ramanuja, here is also dialectical process is there. You know, Buddha completely rejected the concept of God, Veda, the concept of Atman, which was or is the basis of Hindu or Vedic philosophy. Ancient Vedic philosophy is based on Veda, God, Atma. Buddha completely rejected it. So you can understand, if ancient pre-Vedic history or post-Vedic history is the thesis, then Buddha emerged as an antithesis, rejected completely. Then came Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya came as a synthesis. So antithesis is the Vedic period. In Vedic period there was, why antithesis came? Because during the Mimamsakas' time, there was tremendous, I would say, the priestcraft. Only the priest have the right in Vedas, and they have the right of yajna, fire sacrifice, and only the mantra they will chant, God would listen to that mantra only. Their offerings only go to the God. So this kind of tyranny was there, and there was different offerings. So Buddha came as an antithesis. Then came synthesis, Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya again revived the Vedic principle, but little bit different way. Why Shankara came again? Shankara came again, it is because Buddha completely removed the concept of God, removed the concept of Atman, and he commented that everyone should be the monk. There will be no marriage. So social structure was threatened. And immediately a synthesis emerged. That was Shankaracharya. And Shankaracharya synthesized those things. He revived the Vedic principles, well, mainly the Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, and composed, obviously, commented on Brahma Sutra. So, Shankaracharya evolved, and Shankaracharya also did not reject the bhakti. He accepted bhakti, he accepted karma in a different form. So, Shankaracharya came as synthesis. Then again, synthesis became thesis. Obviously, when synthesis becomes thesis, another antithesis will emerge. Ramanuja emerged. So Shankaracharya was Advaita, completely oneness. God, all other things are there, bhakti should be there, but beyond bhakti there will be the knowledge. Knowledge is the highest. That is the teachings of Shankaracharya. Then came Ramanuja, completely antithesis. Ramanuja flooded India by bhakti. See how this wave, thesis, antithesis, and synthesis, and there was a reason, because all those reasons were there. That is why the image, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavatu bharata. So exactly in the same way, it is not adharma. It was not advent of Sri Krishna to protect dharma. All are dharma and they are joined. But the dialectical process, this is the nature. This is the nature of the religious movement in this world from ancient time. So this is the outline what I wanted to share with you. Second point is this: when we study hagiology or this kind of study principle, we have to remember the approach of study should be two. There is person and there is principle. Always we have to divide these two, although this cannot be divided, but for help to our study, we have to think person. Person means his personality, life, birth, death, different incidents in his life, etc., etc. Then the next point is principle. So person and principle. Principle means what philosophy, based on philosophy, what philosophy he spoke. and what are the teachings. So mainly this. So one is percept. You can perceive any person, but other is concept. If you study the principles are not the percept, these are the concept. So these are the few things I wanted to share. So Buddha, Shankar and Ramanuja were three great religious teachers, revivalist and world philosophers. Each one of them significantly contributed to Indian philosophy as well as in the world philosophy and world culture. While Shankara and Ramanuja followed Vedanta, the Buddha was the rebel child of Vedanta. This term used by Swami Vivekananda. He was the rebel child of Vedanta. So, the birth. Buddha was born in 563 BCE, before Christ, in Kapilavastu, that was in Nepal. Now in Nepal, and it was at that time Indian territory. So he was born there in Kapilavastu. His father was Shuddhadhan and mother was Mayadevi. And he was born in a forest and he passed away in the forest. So another remarkable similarities you can find in the birth of all these religious prophets, except Ramachandra. Ramachandra was born in a palace. But if you see Buddha, Shankaracharya, Jesus Christ, Sri Ramakrishna, all were born in a very insignificant place. There was no any golden spoon before them. So, although Buddha's father Shuddhadana was not a very big king, but a kind of jamindar. They have huge property. They were extremely rich people in that locality. They considered as king. Then Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya was born in Kaladi, southern part of India, extreme southern part of India. The ocean is there, just in the bank of ocean. In 680 CE after Christ, his father was Shivaguru and mother was Sati Devi. And another similarity you can find all these great people is that there was some incident, some divine play before their birth. Their parents had some kind of dream or some kind of event associated with their parents, because these people are not the product of biological reaction or biological child. These are divine child. These are pure. So that is why there is some divine prompt behind that. You see Buddha's case, you see Sri Ramakrishna, you see Jesus. they have some divine instruction before their birth. Some divinity is associated with their birth. Then Ramanujacharya was born in Perembadur. It is very close to Chennai. Now it is Madras. Perembadur in 1070 CE after Christ. And his father was Keshavacharya and mother was Kantimati Devi. Buddha lived for 80 years, max. All religious leaders, they passed away very fast, very short span of life. But only Buddha, he lived for long time, long 80 years, and passed away in Kushinagar, which is UP, Uttar Pradesh, in India. Shankaracharya passed away in Kedarnath. That is also in Uttar Pradesh. And in 32 years old, there is a story associated with Shankaracharya's death and his life. I shall come to that afterwards. Only 32 years. Ramanuja lived 120 years. Ramanuja lived 120 years and passed away in Srirangam. It is also in southern part of India. It is a pilgrimage actually. He passed away in Srirangam. It is in Trichurapalli in Tamil Nadu. That is where he passed away. Buddha had two gurus. One is Alar Kalam, from whom he learnt yoga and Shankya philosophy, etc. And then Uddaka Ramaputta. From Uddaka Ramaputta he learnt mainly Vedanta philosophy. Shankaracharya had only one guru. His name was Govindapada. Ramanujacharya also had two gurus. One is Yadavacharya and other is Mahapurana. So Mahapurana actually agreed to initiate, and Ramanuja took permission from Yadavacharya, because Yadavacharya at that period, he was very respected monk. So Ramanuja was attracted to Mahapurana, although he was junior to Yadavacharya, but still Ramanuja was close to Yadavacharya also. He first wanted to take initiation from Yadavacharya, but afterwards when he came across Mahapurana, he was attracted and he took permission from Yadavacharya and had his initiation from Mahapurana. Then the monkhood left their household. You know, Buddha left his household by seeing 3 sights. Can anybody? What are those 3 sights? Yes.
And very poor.
Good.
And then another one was Yoramuktu and Yoramuktu Bati.
Good. Thank you. It is death, old, and sick. So these 3 sides Buddha saw, and he wanted to resolve the problem of life. This part is very important part. From all of our childhood, we have been listening to this thing, Buddha saw three sides. He went to both Gaya and started his meditation to solve the problems of life. But we never and ever understood that what is the solution he found. He has innumerable teachings, we know. The one Pitaka is the full of teachings. He has three Pitakas: Vinaya Pitaka, Abhidhamma Pitaka, and what is that? And what is another Pitaka? Sukta Pitaka. So he has three Pitaka. Sukta Pitaka means all hymns and teachings, etc. Vinaya Pitaka is his monastery injunctions. And Abhidhamma Pitaka is also the teachings. So, but what is the solution he found? That's a very interesting thing. I am going to speak this part today in Badrikashram. However, so he saw three vision, left home to resolve the problems of life, problems of human life. And it was dramatic. Leaving his home is very dramatically explained, He went at night and everyone was sleeping and the charioteer dropped him some places. It was very dramatically, explained. So he left home to resolve the human suffering. Then Shankaracharya's, this story is connected to Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya, it was ordained that Shankaracharya will die when he is very little boy, a kid. It was ordained. So what happened? A crocodile, he went to take bath, that river, Purna river. It is flowing near his house. I am fortunate at least 2-3 times to visit his house. It was very close. There is a temple now, but it is very close to our Kaladi center. It is actually, they are sharing one wall. It is very close. We have a Kaladi center, so it is one wall. We can go from inside. We do not have to go the road. There is a small gap, space in the wall, so we want to go there. So the Purna river that is there, it is flowing. We also touched the water. So he went to take baths there. Suddenly a crocodile came and caught him. That was his death. Actually the crocodile was Lord Shiva. So that was his death. Then the crocodile said, now it is time has come, so I am taking you. So he said, no, my mother is there. So Shankaracharya was fond of his mother. He said, my mother is there. Then okay, in one condition, I shall leave you. What is the condition? you have to leave your home and hearth. You will become a monk. Take permission. Otherwise, I shall take you. Shankaracharya cried out. His mother came and Shankaracharya sought permission. Can you please allow? What to do? Either or. So Shankaracharya's mother gave him the permission. But she also kept one condition. What is that condition? The condition is that when she will be at her deathbed, wherever Shankaracharya will be, he has to come. He has to come and see her mother. Okay, the crocodile agreed. And he left Shankaracharya. So at that time it is said Shankaracharya was 3 years old. So, but we saw that he lived for 32 years because of that, and actually he came. When his mother was at deathbed, Shankaracharya came as a monk to meet his mother. Then Ramanuja, in this way Shankaracharya left actually in that age for monkhood. Then after passing away of his mother, Ramanuja, and taking initiation from Mahapurana, he lost all attraction from his home. He was married. All attraction, and situation became that his wife also found that why unnecessarily I should stick into him and unnecessarily I shall disturb him. The situation came in this way. Everybody understood that yes, it is difficult to bind Ramanuja in the household setup. So in a very simple way, Ramanujacharya left home and hearth, and his wife accepted that. Because the situation was such. Means it was not any fighting or this kind of thing. The way of life, it became like that. Because she saw Ramanujacharya's tremendous attraction with the divinity, his meditation, hours after hours of meditation. So automatically it was settled that yes, it is better for him to go. And his wife also lost the attraction of household family. So Ramanuja left for monkhood. You know, Buddha was also married, and Buddha had a son. Buddha's wife was Yashodhara, and his son was Rahul. And it is dramatically explained, you know, Rahul was sleeping at that time and Yashodhara also was sleeping. So Buddha just looked back to them and silently in the midnight he left his room, and Chetaka was waiting outside with horse and cart, and ultimately he left. But he did not allow his charioteer to go along with him. At certain point he left the horse and cart also. Anyway, this is a beautiful description is there. So and ultimately Yashodhara and Rahul became monk, because at last it was requested to Buddha number of times. First Gautami, his mother, became a monk. So Buddha was rigid to allow any woman to become nun. He was very rigid. But by the request of his disciples, and especially Gautami, his mother, he allowed for women's monkhood, nunhood, and ultimately his wife, his son, everybody joined. Then Shankaracharya, obviously Shankaracharya did not marry. He was very austere. Ramanuja's wife was Jamamba and he had no son. So this is their personal life, person as a person. Now let us go to the principle. Their philosophical teaching. And their philosophy. Mainly they are famous for their philosophical teachings, So what is the philosophy Buddha propagated? It is called Buddhism, So Buddha did not accept Atman, Brahman, Veda or God. I have explained that, and why, that also I have explained. Shankaracharya accepted Veda and his philosophy is called Advaita Vedanta. Advaita means Advaita. Dvaita means two. So it is not two. That means one. Why he did not say one? It is because if I say one, that means I am limiting this. It is only one and not other things. So if we put it in this way, it is not two. That means we find it is a generalized sense. I cannot explain what is one. And I am not explaining one. It is not two. In this very cleverly it is put actually. That is why it is Advaita, not two. Ramanuja's philosophy is called Vishishta Dvaita. Vishishta means very special. Special kind of Dvaita. Dvaita means two. So two means, obviously bhakti. Two means bhakti. Where it is two, there is bhakti. Two means what? God and me. I myself and God. So there is bhakti. It is called Vishishta Dvaita or qualified monism. Sometimes it is said. So it is Vishishta Dvaita, and obviously Ramanuja accepted Vedas, God, Brahma, Atma, everything. It is a special kind of Dvaita. So he accepted Advaita, but special type. So I said Ramanuja is a synthesis, So there is two parts. Advaita part is there, Shankara's part is there, and Bhakti part is there. Both. I shall explain it. Now, generally when we study this kind of philosophy, it's a vast, How can we manage these things? So there is a pattern of study, this kind of things. What is the pattern? Everything, you see, spiritually or religiously, how can we deal everything? So the scholars, they divided it into three parts. What are the three parts? If you think the world religion, it's a vast thing. How can we study world religion? There is a pattern. They set a pattern to study world religion. How can we study this world religion? See, there are different groups. First, God. If we accept God, if not, then Brahman. So God or Brahman, some divinity is there. So that is one part. What is the concept of God or Brahman or anything according to that religion? What is the second? Second is human being. Because I am doing this. I am one entity. What is the concept of human being? What is the concept of personality? what is mind, what is other things. That is the one part. So God, man, and what is the other thing? Society. We are seeing this world. So these are the three main parts we divide: God, man, and the universe. These are the three parts of study. Along with that, two extra part. What is the extra part? It is called ecstachology and satyriology. These are technical terms. Satyriology means what is there after death? Heaven or what happened? Man, when death, where he is going, what is happening? It is called satyriology, means heaven, concept of heaven. And another is eschatology. Eschatology means what is death? This is called eschatology. So these are the extra two parts. And the last part is the scriptures. These are the main division of world religion. If you study world religion, these are the parts. God, man, universe. What is the concept of God? Divine. What is the concept of man? What is the concept of universe? These are the three things. Then heaven and the world and human being, death. Then what is the concept of scripture? What is the pattern of scripture? These are the main divisions. And I also tried to make this study in that divisions, according to that divisions. So the concept of God and Brahman. Buddha, I have already mentioned. Buddha did not accept God or Brahman or any divinity. Swami Vivekananda said he was the first person who completely disobeyed God, divine, everything. Only stick on to cause and effect, scientific thing, cause and effect. And staying, living in this universe, accepting in this universe, he tried to solve, not tried, he did. He solved the suffering of the humanity. Whereas Advaita also solved the suffering of the humanity, but not staying in this world, by transcending this world. See the difference. Buddha solved the suffering of the humanity by accepting this world through his theory of cause and effect. But Advaita also solved this by transcending this, not in this universe, beyond this universe. That was the greatness of Buddha. However, he did not accept God, Brahman, etc. Shankaracharya accepted God as Shaguna Brahman. Do you think I shall explain what is Shaguna Brahman? I think you know, all know what is Shaguna Brahman. No? Anybody who knows Shaguna Brahman, can you please raise your hand? Okay. No, why? Shaguna Brahman, Nirguna Brahman. What is Nirguna Brahman? No? Saguna Sakara, Nirguna My God.
There's Brahman and there's mixed up about which one.
Yes, yes. My God, it is already time. How can I finish it? Okay, let me finish and then afterwards we can have this kind of discussion. So, Shankaracharya accepted God, which is Saguna Brahman, and means who has the attributes. And then Shankaracharya accepted the Nirguna Brahman also, who doesn't have attributes. And Ramanuja accepted only Saguna Brahman, that is God. He did not accept the Nirguna Brahman. That is the difference from Ramanuja and Sankara. So, according to him, all attributes are real. According to him, the world is real. I shall come to when we shall explain the universe or world. Then scriptures. Buddha has 3 Pitaka, you know. The Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, and the Abhidhamma Pitaka. Then Shankara, you know, accepted Vedas and he commented on Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutra. These are the 3 pillars which is called Prasthanotraya. Traya means 3. 3 pillars of Hinduism. Foundation. Upanishad, Brahma Sutra and Gita. These 3 pillars. Then Ramanuja accepted Vedas and he commented the same thing. He commented on Bhagavad Gita, he commented on Upanishads according to qualified monism. Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra and Vedartha Sangraha, that is a unique book, where the Shankaracharya commented on Brahma Sutra. He also, Ramanuja also Brahma Sutra. But his Vedanta Sangraha, Vedartha Sangraha, that's a unique book. I mentioned in earlier classes that, excellent, this is a very, very important law, that Atmo Abhimano Jadrisha Tadrisha Purushartha Pratiti. As you perceive yourself, the world or the reality is just like that. Our perception about us is very, very important. Please remember this. Atmo Abhimano Jadrisha Tadrisha Purushartha Pratita. Very important. If I consider myself man, then in world I shall discriminate man and woman. If I consider myself Hindu, I discriminate in the world Hindu and others. If I consider myself, immediately world will become divided. I am this and rest of this. So our perception about ourselves is very, very important. If I consider myself human being, I am human being, the rest of others. It is very important. Similarly, if I consider myself a body, then my God is just like me in 1,000 degree higher or infinite degree higher. Just like me. So that is why you see Hindu god and goddesses all are like similar to human being with multitude, with huge power and all other things. Bhaga is there. What is the separation between the human being and God? It is called Bhagavan, Bhaga is the attributes. 6 bhagas. So, that is what. So, Vedartha Sangraha, Vedanta Deepan. So, all these books are in credit of Ramanuja. Then, man. what is the concept of man. According to Buddha, it is the combination, it is called samghata. It is the combination of 5 aggregates, skanda or hip, 5 hips. It is form, it is feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. These are the 5. If you combine these 5, human being. If you separate this, no human being. This is the concept of Shankaracharya's concept, the nucleus, Atman. Centering Atman, everything aggregated, everything came. The matter and the spirit. Body is matter and Atman is spirit, combined. 2 are not same. This is not a compound, separately, existing separately. This is the concept of then Ramanuja. Individual selves comes from Atman but remains separated entirely. According to Shankara, Atman is Brahman also. Atman came from Brahman. Atman is similar, same thing, in a different pot. Same water of the ocean in a different pot. That's all. Shankara. But Ramanujacharya, these are not same. Atman came from God, came from Brahman, but both are not same, different. That is why Dvaitva, 2. It is 2. Always separate. Just like Christianity. Human being cannot be God. Human being is created by God, but cannot be the same. Never and ever. Similar to that. Then why individual self is isolated? It was Brahman, why it is isolated? Why it was God? Why God created? Because of desire. Tanha, Buddha said. In Pali, tanha, trishna, thirst. And karma and work chain. The fundamental philosophy of Buddhism is called in Pali Pratutya Samutpada, dependent origination. That is the fundamental philosophy of Buddha. There are 12 or 13 chains. It is like a chain. You cannot break the chain in middle. From one end, it is open chain. You have to, it is not circular. So open chain. You have to break it either at the end or at the beginning. And that is liberation. So this chain is causal effect chain. It is called dependent origination. Or pratutya, in Pali, pratutya samutpada. That is the fundamental philosophy of Buddhism. Then Shankaracharya, Jiva separates from Brahman. Why? For ignorance. And for 3 gunas, raga, dvesha, all these desire, shadaripu, all these things, we are separated. As and when we can remove all these things, we will be one. We were one, we will become one. That's all. Then according to Ramanuja, Jiva separates from Brahman for ignorance, same, and 3 gunas, for 3 gunas. And the Prakriti, because we are made out of Prakriti, that is Sattva, Tamas and Rajas, these are the Prakritis. Then liberation. What happens in liberation? We know, accept birth and death, this is the vicious cycle. Buddha accepted that. Buddha accepted rebirth. Buddha did not accept this, but Buddha accepted rebirth. And rebirth, the karma theory. Buddha accepted karma theory. In Advaita Vedanta and Ramanuja also karma theory is there. So all accepted karma theory and rebirth. So accepted birth and death. Individual breaks the chain of dependent origination or continuum of the birth and death and get rid of birth and death. So cessation of suffering, it is there in liberation. By fourth truth. And what is the process? We know. 4 noble truths and 8 steps, 8 limbs. That is the way. According to Shankara, accept birth and death, soul or Atman merges with Brahman, which is eternal bliss, and get rid of birth and death by knowledge. So why we are connected with desire and lower ego and all these things? Because we are ignorance. We are ignorant. There is no evil in Advaita. We are ignorant. So how can we remove your ignorance? If you have the knowledge, simple. By knowledge, remove the ignorance and you are done. Ramanuja also accepted birth, death, soul, Atman, but according to Ramanuja, you have understood that according to Ramanuja, what happened with this soul? Is that going to merge with Brahman? No, because they are not same. They are totally different. So where they will go? They will go to Vaikuntha. They will go to Vaikuntha, and devotion and grace. There is 5 types of mukti according to Sajujya, Sarupya, Salokya, Shashti. These 4 types. These 4 types of things. Sarupya means you live very proximity, very close to God. Sarupya means rupa. Same rupa you can get. Salokya, you can live with same loka. Samipya, very close proximity, you can live with God. And Shashti, become very close with God, always serve God, and you will become the personal assistant of God, like kind of thing. This is Shashti. Another is Sajujya. So in Sajujya also, you can have this kind of, closeness of with God. So this is the concept according to Ramanuja. So there is no liberation. This is the liberation. In those who are following the path of bhakti, they do not like liberation, mukti. They do not like mukti. They say that bhakti is superior to mukti. Then the world. What is the concept of universe and world according to them? According to Buddha, what? World is real or unreal? Real. Because Buddha accepted this world. According to Shankara, unreal, illusion, correct. According to Ramanuja, real, yes, good. The grace of Narayana, supreme truth of life, etc. Right, see, you have learned the intricate philosophy. Then teachings. What are the main teachings? Buddha said a lot of stories, beautiful, realistic stories. We do not have time, otherwise I could have, I thought that I shall tell some stories in Badrika Ashram, but I don't think there is a time. Buddha philosophy is so beautiful, so, It is very difficult. Let me see. So, 5 Shilas, when Buddha was passing away, then one of his disciples asked Buddha that you are passing away. With whom shall we live? Then the last advice is Atmo Deepo Bhava. That was his last advice to Ananda. But before that he said, you follow the Shilas. Shilas means the code of conduct. You follow the Shilas. 5 Shilas. There are different Shilas. Very important is 5 Shilas. There are 10 Shilas also. So 5 Shilas. And those are very simple. Those are very close to Hinduism. Like Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, etc. Or Yama, Niyama, like that. You know that. And it is in Christianity also. These Shilas are there. The 5 Shilas are don't kill. Means Hinduism it is said ahimsa. Then don't steal. Achaurya. Then don't lie. Satya. Then don't practice illegitimate, illegitimate relations or something kind of that. Brahmacharya. Don't take intoxicants that clouded the mind. The charitra is character is very important. All want happiness. So to be compassionate with everyone. You cannot conquer hatred by hatred. These are the teachings of Buddha. He said. So all want happiness. To be compassionate to others. You cannot conquer hatred by hatred. Hatred can be conquered by love. This is the central law. Desire, hatred, delusion is the cause of main evil. And we know this. Then Shankaracharya's teachings. In Moni Ratnamala, Shankaracharya very specific. This book is very good actually. Very lucid way Shankaracharya gave teachings. He asked, who is Guru? He replies, he who teaches our permanent good. He is our Guru. What is Tirtha? Means pilgrimage. What is Tirtha? One's own pure mind. That is the pilgrimage. That is Tirtha. Who is idiot? The non-discriminate. Who cannot discriminate. They are idiots. Who is great? Who is selfless is great. What is divine observance? Show humility to everyone. That is divine observance. What is infinite suffering? Ignorance. Shankaracharya says ignorance is suffering. Who is adorable? Guru is adorable. God and elderly person. These are adorable. Actually, there is a verse, beautiful verse. I forgot that verse. I have that verse. If you serve the elderly people, you will be bestowed by 4 boons if you serve the elderly people. This is very important. And one of them, you can enjoy a long life. So that verse is wonderful verse. Who is pleasurable like mother? Knowledge. Knowledge is like a mother. Mother nourishes us. Knowledge nourishes us. What is work? Which pleases God. That is the work. Other are not work. What is truth? Do good to the world. That is only good. That is only truth. Then Ramanuja. Ramanuja's is bhakti. We are the servant of God. That is the teachings. If we forget it, suffering comes. Surrender at the feet of God is the only way to liberation. So prapatti. Prapatti means surrender. Total surrender. Sharanagati. Another name of Sharanagati is prapatti. If you go through Bhagavad Gita, you can find innumerable, this prapatti word has been used. Innumerable times. Prapatti, prapanna, like that. This has been surrender. So these are few things of these three great prophets. But you have to know what is Saguna, what is Nirguna, what is Nirguna Nirakara, what is Saguna Nirakara. This is basic. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkham Apnuat Sarvastarotu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu Sarva Sadbuddhim Apnotu Sarva Sarvatranandatu Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat Sajjana Shantim Apnuat Shantam Uchete Bandhebhyo Muktaschanyan Bimochayet. May all be happy. May all enjoy good health. May all see happy events. May all be freed from miseries. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bondages. May the freed make others free. May the Supreme Spirit, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied. For He being pleased, the whole universe feels satisfied. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. We have few announcements. Next Sunday, we do not have any Sunday lecture in the morning because we have evening program in San Jose. The musical program, you know that. And then the following Sunday, we will have talk in the morning at 11 o'clock. The title will be Selfishness and Selflessness. Then the following Sunday, 28th, we don't have any lecture. And so I request you all to participate or all the programs and events. And as usual, tea and coffee will be served from the Sardananda Hall, which will be followed by Prasad luncheon. Please join. Thank you.